I was so scared. His heart rate went from like 130s to 60s, dropped very quickly. My stomach kept contracting multiple times in a row and it wouldn't let up. So it was like crushing him. Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here on this channel, we talk about law of attraction, spiritual development, and making you believe that all things are possible one step at a time. And I am finally postpartum. I am 3 months postpartum. It has been such an incredible journey. Ooh. I honestly feel like I handled postpartum pretty well for the most part. I don't feel, of course, your hormones are so out of whack, so out of whack that at certain times you feel a little bit more anxious, a little bit more sad, a little bit more mad, a little bit happy. Like your emotions, like when you give birth, your whole body is depleted of all of your hormones. I don't think that they ever talk about that, but it is so crucial. And if you feel 6 months to a year down the road and you're still feeling a certain way, go get your hormones checked. Don't get put on depression medicine. You don't need that. Go get your hormones checked first. See what's out of place, see what's out of whack, and then you can go into that direction if you feel like that's where you're at. But I feel like I handled it pretty well. I have my moments, everyone does. But yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about my birth story, and I wanted to just kind of go into our self-love. So my birth story, I feel like I had a pretty decent birth, but I did labor for 24 hours. Awful. It was pretty awful. I had back labor. So I lost my mucus plug 2 days prior, which is not an indication that you're going to go into labor, but for me it was. So I lost that. And then the next day I started experiencing Braxton Hicks, but they were pretty intense, and I was like, this kind of feels like it's different. And as the day went on, they were kind of coming and going. And then by 9 o'clock at night, they started getting a little bit more intense, but they were way too far apart and inconsistent, so I could not do anything about that. So I tried to sleep, didn't really get any sleep, but around 3 a.m. is when my contractions started getting pretty intense, and they were starting to get about 8 minutes apart, and then they quickly got to about 4 minutes apart. So I had to head to the hospital because we were about 45 minutes away. And when they say you'll know, you know, yeah, you'll know. You'll know when you're in labor. I would love to have my water break, and then you're just like, you know, you're just chill. You're like, all right, I got this. I can get to the hospital, no problem. When you're contractions and you're like playing this game, like, is this it? Is it not? It's kind of frustrating, but you'll know. When that time comes, you'll know. So we head to the hospital. I was only 3 centimeters dilated, and they decided to keep me. Thank God, because I really didn't feel like leaving and going back. I progressed pretty slow, to be completely honest. It was not going fast at all. I did have back labor. It was very, very intense. I think I got to about 5 centimeters, and it felt like my back was ripping open. It was so crucial. It just, crushed my soul. So I wanted to do it all natural, but 12 hours in, I was so exhausted. No food, no nothing. Like, you're not allowed to eat. When they tell you, when I searched for videos on what to bring to the hospital, and they say snacks, don't fucking listen to them. Don't listen. You're not allowed to eat. You're not allowed to eat. You're only allowed to have clear liquids. Did not know that. I was struggling, and I was starving, and I was weak, and I was the one supposed to push a baby out, and you don't want to give me food? Anyways, so 12 hours in, couldn't do it anymore. It was so excruciating. I got the epidural. When I get the epidural, it went fine. It really doesn't hurt at all. and they do work with your contractions as they're coming, but they did slip to the right a little bit, and that was not the best feeling. And then that whole side was so numb. Like, my leg was dead. It was completely dead. I could not, it was just bad. And then the side was not as numb. So I had to deal with that up until I gave birth and kind of worked with the medicine there. But when they gave me the epidural, they did have to dose me twice because it does lower your heart rate, and I already naturally have a very, very low heart rate. So they didn't want anything to happen. And as they dosed me for the second time, that's when shit kind of hit the fan, and I almost got rushed into an emergency C-section. I was so scared. His heart rate went from like 130s to 60s, dropped very quickly. My stomach kept contracting multiple times in a row, and it wouldn't let up. So it was like crushing him. A whole bunch of people rushed in. Of course, that doesn't help your adrenaline at all. They flipped me over on my hands and knees, and they tried to flip him. Nothing was working, so they shot my leg with something to stop my contractions. And luckily, that did let up so that he was fine, but then it shot my heart rate up to about 130s, whatever medicine it was. So that was very, very tough for me to try to navigate and stay calm in that time. But luckily I did. My boyfriend was there talking to me in my ear, just keeping me calm as best as I can as he's freaking out, because obviously this is our first experience, and going through something like that is pretty traumatic. So anyways, we get that all under control. Later, they started me on Pitocin to start my contractions back up. And then from there, it did progress pretty quickly, because when you do Pitocin, it does intensify your contractions, so it speeds everything along. And yeah, so labored for another 12 hours, and then by that time I was ready to push. My water didn't break until I was 9 centimeters, and that felt pretty weird. Even though I had the epidural, it felt like there was a balloon down there, a water balloon, and someone just went, and it just went everywhere. And then yeah, you just have this urge to push, and even though you have the epidural, you still feel it. You still feel like you have this like sensation down there, like, and I told them, they're like, yeah, we're gonna wait. And I was like, I'm pretty sure like I need to push. Like I kept feeling like I needed to push, and then they finally checked me and they're like, oh yeah, he's right there. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we push maybe half hour, 45 minutes, and my beautiful baby boy is here, and he was about 8 pounds, almost 2 ounces. So pretty large for me, at least. Had a 2nd-degree tear. And yeah, I can go into all those details if you want in another video. But yeah, so that was my birth story. But what I think is like most important to talk about is obviously postpartum. That is your 4th trimester. I think it is one of the most challenging and physical demanding things that you ever have to do. Not only taking care of a child, whether you're breastfeeding or not, but breastfeeding, your body trying to make the milk, just make the milk in your body. It's like you're working out like 3 times a day, so you're already exhausted from that. Waking up multiple times, having someone tug at your nipples, it hurts really bad. You get used to it eventually, but it does hurt. But it's so demanding, and it's so challenging, and it is one of the toughest things that you'll ever have to go through. So if you feel like you are depressed, or you feel like you're gonna go crazy, like, that's normal. That is absolutely normal. Don't get down on yourself thinking that you can't do it. And if you feel like you need to be on medicine, go talk to your doctor. Always talk to your doctor. Always talk to your OB about anything that's going on. But just know that when you have that baby, all your hormones you're depleted. They fall out of you. Basically all fall out of you. So it's normal to feel those things, and especially when you're breastfeeding, like, your hormones are going to stay pretty messed up. I got to a point 3 months in, I started drying up. I started drying up a lot sooner than that, but I have tried everything I can possibly think of, whether it was the teas, the brewer's yeast, like everything. And I just could not produce enough, and he was just eating so much. So we started supplementing, and now we are officially fully on formula. And that's okay, as long as he's getting fed, and we are getting it imported from Europe, so it has way better ingredients. Just something that we prefer to do if he can't get my breast milk. So leave it in the comments below if you want to know what type of breast milk that, or I'm sorry, formula we're on. But the thing that's gonna matter the most out of this whole process is self-love. Self-love. And it is so easy, so easy to get down on yourself, about your body, and what you look like. I thought it was challenging during pregnancy to look a certain way and grow and keep growing and keep growing, but like my brain was like, oh, there's a baby in there. Like it didn't click that like I looked bad. But afterwards, when you no longer have a baby and you feel like you can like be yourself again, but you don't look like yourself, it is so challenging on your mind. I am someone that worked out, I mean, for 14 years, hardcore, just was always in the gym. When it got to pregnancy, I couldn't train as much for multiple reasons, whether it was the sickness or the pain or whatever. I did not train, so I lost like all my muscle and I gained fat. I am one of those people that just was always skinny, so all I had to do was try to eat tons and tons and tons of food and try to gain muscle in order to gain weight. But I was still always lean. I still never had body fat, and now I have body fat and I don't know what to do with it. I'm trying everything I can. Very frustrating and very challenging. And all I can do is discipline myself. All I can do is show up for myself. If you aren't showing up for yourself, no one's going to do it for you. Like for me to get to the gym and push myself every day, I have to go at like 7 in the morning when my boyfriend gets off at work. He works third shift. No one lets a baby in the gym, and barely anyone has daycare. And if they do, you have to be like 1 year old. So it's just the only time I can is when he gets home. I have like an hour to myself and I go get it done. If I have to sleep after, fine, but at least I'm getting myself there, tired or not, waking up multiple times at night, whatever it is, I need to do it. I want to feel a certain way. I want to look a certain way, and that makes me feel good. Me doing something for myself like that makes me feel so incredible, so empowered. Not only that, the discipline. I thought I disciplined myself before, but holy shit, I did not even know what discipline was until now. Nope, not even a bit. Like what I do for him throughout the day, throughout the night, like what I'm doing, like constantly. I want to preface, like my boyfriend is a nurse and he works third shift and he works like 14 hours, and when he gets off, he has to sleep, and that goes for multiple nights in a row. So when he does that, I am basically a single parent. He is an amazing parent, trust me, but I get to be a stay-at-home mom because of that. But it's very challenging, but I am like a single parent because he has to do that, and I mean, I'm the only one to take care of him. So it's a lot, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But I thought I was disciplining myself before, but the fact that I can do whatever I wanted and go to the gym whenever I wanted, the easy times, whenever I felt like going, or when I felt better or in a good mood or the most energy, I don't get that now. I don't get that. And I have to do it. I have to do it for myself. I have to show up. You have to show up for yourself. Self-love starts within. If you cannot get to the gym, you need to start talking to yourself in the mirror. You need to start saying things to yourself that is going to uplift you. Perception is everything. You can say, my body is shit, this is shit, I don't feel happy, I feel tired, I feel run down, whatever it may be, whatever negative sense you want to say. Or you can say, my body just did something so incredible that not many women ever get to do. I wanted this more than anything in the world, and I got the chance to do it, and now my body is doing what it needs to do to provide for me and my baby. And whatever else you want to say. Like, it is so important to talk so kindly to yourself right now, because this is such a crucial time of, it's just so sensitive. You are so sensitive in so many different ways, and if no one's gonna do it for you, you need to do it for yourself. And if someone did it for you, what is that? What is that to you? You know, you have to do it. You have to believe in you. It's easy for other people to believe in you, like your husband or your boyfriend or whoever, and family, to say, I'm so proud of you, you're doing great. But like, you tell yourself that you're doing great. I feared so much in pregnancy that I wasn't going to be a good mom. And I laugh at that now. Now I'm a little like pissed off at myself for saying something like that, because I am the best mom and parent that I can be to my child. And I don't even have to try that hard. It's just instinct. Like, that's why we're made for this. It is instinct. And if you feel that way, if you have any doubt that you feel like you're gonna be a bad parent or a bad mom, I just want to reassure you, you're gonna be amazing. You're gonna be so fucking amazing, and you're gonna do everything that you need to do for your child. So yeah, that's it for this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, if you want to see anything, just leave it in the comments below. We can talk about it, you know, we can go over that. If you resonated with this at all, excuse me, give this video a like. It's only going to help me and my channel. And if you feel like anyone needs to hear this, just share it. Share it with your friends. Share it with whoever's pregnant. And until my next video, I hope you stay true, and namaste.